Class B airspace protects some of the busiest commercial airports in the world. You'll find a constant flow of airliners, regional jets arriving and departing. Add to the mix corporate jets, cargo operations, and personal VFR or IFR aircraft, and you've got a pretty busy mess. To accommodate all of these flights, Class B airspace has some of the strictest equipment and communication requirements of any airspace. Don't let this scare you. ATC controls everything that you do in Class B airspace. As you're learning about the airspace and its requirements, keep in mind that they are in place so that you and ATC can remain in constant communication, and ATC is always aware of where you are and what you're doing and where you're going. Let's talk briefly about dimensions. Generally, it's from the surface to 10,000 feet MSL surrounding busy airports. There are generally 2 or more layers that resemble an upside-down wedding cake. Speaking of communication, let's talk about the communication requirements for Class B airspace. You must have and maintain two-way radio communications, and you must receive a clearance from ATC. So you literally need to hear the words "cleared to enter Class Bravo airspace" when you're a VFR aircraft. If you're on an IFR flight plan, you don't need that clearance because it's assumed because you're already on the IFR flight plan and there's a clearance requirement or clearance portion of the requirement. So we'll talk about those later. You need a Mode C transponder and ADS-B out equipment installed and active on your aircraft. Helicopter VFR weather minimums are as follows: 3 statute miles and clear of clouds. In order to enter Class B airspace, you need to be at least a private pilot, or you need to be a student pilot with a specific sign-off from your instructor for that specific airspace. A fun little tidbit about some Class B airspaces is there are what are called VFR corridors, or little established routes for ATC to allow VFR pilots to transition Class B airspace. A lot of people say that Class B looks like an upside-down wedding cake. While it's not always made up of perfect circles, it's typically narrow at the surface and wider at the top. Take Denver's Class B airspace on the screen, for example. There are lots of different sections at different altitudes, but for the most part, it's narrow at the bottom and wider at the top. Around Class B airspace, there is something known as a Mode C veil. This Mode C veil is delineated by this purple or magenta line around Class B airspace within 30 nautical miles of the airports listed in Appendix D of 14 CFR Part 91. Aircraft must be equipped with an automatic pressure altitude reporting equipment having Mode C capabilities, in addition to the new ADS-B requirements. The horizontal boundaries of Class B airspaces are marked with thick blue lines. Class B airspace typically has a lot of different sections, so expect to see a lot of thick blue lines that make up the horizontal limits of the airspace listed in sectionals, terminals, and helicopter route charts. The different sections of Class B airspace often form a perfect circle, but in some cases, the horizontal boundaries of Class B can be all kinds of shape due to mountainous terrain. For example, what we're looking at on the screen is the west side of Denver's Class B airspace is cut off because of its proximity to the Rocky Mountains. Class B is denoted on sectionals, terminals, and helicopter route charts with their altitude in these blue numbers. If you look at the upper limit of the altitude, it's 12,000 feet, denoted as 120 on these charts. The lower limit, or the lower section, is going to be down at 10,000 or 100. As you come in closer to the airport, the airspace is going to get thicker and thicker. So as you can see here, the upper limit still is at that 12,000 feet, and the lower limit is now at 7,000 feet. And over here, it's 12,000 feet and 6,000 feet. Close to the airport itself, you're going to see 12,000 feet down to SFC. That SFC stands for surface. So on charts, Class B airspace altitudes are shown as 3-digit numbers, or in this case, 3-digit letters when you get down to the surface.